This is the second part of the r/funnystories subreddit. If you haven't checked the first one, please watch it. Seriously, if you haven't watched it, check it out first. The time I got my wisdom teeth removed and forgot English. I had been taking German classes for a few years before I got my wisdom teeth taken out, and I would practice a lot outside of class because it was fun and I had other friends to speak German with as well. When I had to get my wisdom teeth taken out, I was worried about saying something offensive when I was on the anesthetic. However, those German classes saved my ass. I don't remember much. After I immediately woke up, my family said I was only speaking German, and the surgeon made a joke like, "Whoops, I must have pulled the wrong tooth." And then I yelled something in German. The first thing that I do remember is shortly after the surgery, when they took me out of the operating room and into a dark room with a nurse for me to recover for a bit before leaving. I could understand when she spoke English, but for some reason I couldn't speak it, which made me extremely frustrated since the nurse is laughing at me and trying to talk to me. This resulted in me saying a multitude of things. I kept yelling things in German like, "You stupid fat pig, eat my shit, suck my cock in your ass, if you don't get me food I'm going to shit my pants," among many other things that I said I was going to do to the Jews. The nurse kept laughing, completely unaware of what I was saying, and asked me how long I've been learning German, to which I simply replied shit and fell asleep. I woke up in the car and my mom asked me if I wanted a shake, and I kept yelling strawberry constantly, but she didn't understand and kept telling me she doesn't speak German, which was even more frustrating because I was so hungry. Eventually she figured it out though, since bear sounds close enough to berry, and strawberry would have been the only berry I would yell. I got my shake, sat with the straw in my mouth with my eyes closed, savoring the deliciousness. I was oblivious to the fact that I was sucking the shake into my mouth and then just drooling it back out onto my shirt. My mom has some videos of me shouting things in the car somewhere, but they are hard for me to watch because of all the cringe. So, thank you German for hiding the fact that I sexually harassed a nurse while telling her the wonders of National Socialism. TL. Doctor, anesthetics turned me into an artsy. Last day of high school, teacher burns the entire class, so as the heading says it was a last day of high school. Our second last class, electronics, with Mr. Burns, not his real name, but fitting for this story anyway. Every 2 to 3 minutes he would pull something out of his pocket, cover it with his hand, look at it, and then place it back in his pocket. All of us scratching our heads as to what it could be. This carried on the whole lesson, and he would always look around the class with suspicion and glee at his secret pocket item that we were all dying to know what it was. So 2 minutes before the bell he says, "Gather round boys." Electronics class, sadly no girls. We gather around the projector at the front of the class, the old ones you use clear sheets and whiteboard markers on, and pulls the item out of his pocket and holds it in the light. 20 highly disappointed 18-year-old guys standing around looking at a single curly hair pinched between his thumb and finger, and he says, "I've seen many of these around a cunt, but I've never seen so many cunts around one of these." Stunned silence before we all burst out laughing. Still the best teacher I ever had. I literally forgot I had a dog and mistakenly assumed she was a home invader. Bro, on my life I just forgot that I had a dog, M23, and it scared the shit out of me. My wife, F22, and I recently adopted a dog, F1, that is half shepherd and half husky, and she is the best thing to ever happen to us. We got her when she was only 8 months and her birthday is today. However, this is my first dog and I have no idea what I'm doing. But I'm learning, and my wife is doing a great job teaching me. I just forget she's there sometimes. Not in a sense where I forget to feed her or show her any attention. I'm not that bad of a parent. I just forget she's there until she moves. For example, this morning I was in bed asleep. The room is pitch black, bed is comfortable, fan is blowing cool air while I'm snuggled up to my wife's ass, until I heard a sound of something rattle. Dear Lord, I thought someone was trying to break into our apartment. I immediately thought of a no sleep story I read about fucking a hoe up with a soap sock. I thought this is my chance to prove to my wife I'm no pussy. So I got out of bed, jumped into my red and black checkered Onishi cause that shit is comfortable as fuck. I thought at least I should be comfortable in something that I have great movement in. before I beat somebody's ass. I then began to sneak into the living room forgetting the sock soap. I thought, god damn it, I guess I'll just throat punch that hoe. Soon as I even get to a point to where my eyes adjust to seeing anything, my dog jumps out of nowhere and pushes me down. I thought my life was over. She pushed me down and began licking my fucking face. My god, did I scream. My initial thought was, this fucker attacked me by licking my face and I'm going to die. But I felt something furry and there it came to me. Holy shit, I have a dog. Will slap me on my ass and call me Sally. My wife comes rushing out of the room half naked to check on me and notice me curled up in an attempt to fight for my life. She says, you forgot again, didn't you? Late night snack. So last year, my freshman year of college, I was sleeping in my dorm one night in the beginning of my second semester. I had a dream that I was chewing on Gardetas, basically just chips for those who don't know. But for some reason I couldn't chew down on them. I remember saying to myself in my dream, alright, on 3 I'm going to bite down as hard as I can. 1, point 2, point 3. Crunch ahh, there we go. I was able to finally bite down on the chip and heard the nice crunch. I then woke up with one of my AirPods in my mouth all chewed up. I was in total disbelief because every night I usually fall asleep listening to some music, but I guess one slipped in my mouth and I thought it was a chip in my dream. It was completely damaged and I brought it into the Apple store telling them that I ate it in my sleep. I'm never going to forget the looks that some of the workers gave me. My mom called to tell me Apollo 11 was launching. My mom usually calls me during my drive into work, giving me her thoughts on what the news is reporting. This morning, the following exchange took place. Mom, oh by the way, I think Apollo 11 is getting ready to launch. Me, Apollo 11, asterisk GRINNINGUNCONTROLLABLY asterisk. Mom, yeah, a rocket? It's on the news right now. Me, Mom, the Apollo 11 launched in 1969. It was kind of a big deal. You were alive for it. Mom, long silence. Don't you dare tell anybody I said that. Me, immediately logs into Reddit upon arriving to work. Bless her heart. In 4 days I'm going to let her know we're about to land on the moon. Happy 50th anniversary Apollo 11. Why I was never allowed to eat M&MS as a kid. Not trying to type a whole essay of the story, but to keep it short, my mum came home with M&MS one day and I decided to stick the M&MS in my nose and eat it. I was 6. After 3 times of sticking it up my nose, I wanted to got further, way further and shoot it out. I proceeded with this plan in thats when I fucked up so bad, shit got stuck bruh. I tried shooting it out my nose, covering one nostril and blowing hard as fuck out the other, but it didn't work out point. So I went to my mum and she said, let me see point. She tried her best to get it out but she couldn't. After a minute or two she looked at me and made a face, the face that said, oh damn, boy are you done fucked up. At this moment I cried enough to fill a dam and thought I was going to die. She ended up calling the ambulance and once she said, I need an ambulance, my son has an M&M stuck in his nose. They started laughing like hell and said they'd be there shortly. Long story short, I got to the hospital and the guy just said to sit and wait for it to melt. Few minutes and my nose was leaking chocolate and buggers into my mouth, and I was told to blow my nose out to get the chocolate out or it could get infected. To this day M&MS bring back traumatizing memories. Please like the video and subscribe for a third part for this subreddit. Leave a comment on your thoughts on the video and on this war cat inside his box. Thanks for watching and let your day be productive.